Thank you. All right, thank you all and welcome tonight, Wednesday, March 31st for the special council meeting. This is the business portion of what was to be held about 2 weeks ago during our retreat. Due to time management, we rolled the meeting to tonight to take care of the business portion of the meeting. There are several items on the agenda, but I think we'll be able to move through them rather quickly. In accordance with Governor McKee's executive order, the meeting is entirely remote and available here on Zoom. Participating tonight on the Zoom, we have Board of Education Chair Barbara Cottom, Ms. Green, Senator Izzo, Mr. Mello, Ms. Monty, and Mackenzie Raymond. We do not have Bishop Williams or Mr. Duffy present. Also participating is President Sanchez and President Hughes and Commissioner Gilkey and various staff members from OPC, Rhode Island College, and CCRI who will come in as necessary during discussion, and we do have a quorum. So that being said, we'll get right into the agenda. Can I have a motion that we accept the agenda for this evening as presented? Motion made by Mr. Mello, seconded by Ms. Green. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? None. Thank you. Next is the minutes from our February 17th meeting. Can I have a motion that we approve the minutes from the February 17th as presented? Motion made by
Mello.
Mello, seconded by Monty. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None. Stands passed. The only report we have tonight is a report from the Commissioner to address a few items for the Council. Commissioner.
Good evening, Mr. Chair, members of the Council. We've received notices of new programs at our colleges. Rhode Island College has established new non-degree certificate programs in medical interpreter training in Portuguese, English, public health, and equity sign language interpreter, and Spanish, English, medical interpreter. Our office has reviewed the proposed new programs. The establishment of these programs is within the role and scope of Rhode Island College. Therefore, council approval is not required.
Very good. Thank you.
The community, sorry. The Community College of Rhode Island has established new certificate programs in administrative management, workplace essentials, and software development. Our office has reviewed the proposed new programs. The establishment of these programs is within the role and scope of the Community College of Rhode Island. Therefore, council approval is not required as well for those items.
Great. Thank you, Commissioner. Next on the discussion list is a edit, change, or update to our Title IX policy that we recently approved. I'll turn it over to General Counsel Ron Cavallaro for discussion, please.
Thank you, Chair Joe Dudas. Members of the Council, as you remember, last August you approved a new Title IX sexual harassment policy and procedures. And since that time, the Title IX coordinators and other staff at the two institutions have started working through that, applying it in the trenches, so to speak. And from that, there have been some tweaks, some corrections, some fine tuning of language, which were proposed by both Title IX coordinators. We've had these modifications reviewed by Attorney Zyko, who drafted the policy for the council. She's fine with them. They're basically, one's a typo, the other one is clarifying when a hearing is either transcribed or recorded, and the third one clarifies when a participant gets the appointment, gets appointed an assistant or an advisor under the policy. Both Title IX coordinators are here tonight if you have any questions. Sheila Wall is here from CCRI, and Peg Lynch Gadaletta is here from Rick. This is on tonight's agenda for discussion only. Under the council's policy on adopting policies, changes are noticed and discussed at one meeting and then voted on at a subsequent meeting. If there are any questions?
Questions on the topic? Senator Izzo.
Yeah, just a quick question. Not with it's with respect to the Title IX, but not necessarily the three changes. Is it anticipated that we're going to see changes from the federal level with new leadership at the Department of Ed? I know that.
Yes, but it won't be like last time, Tom. The prior administration made changes or required changes to the Title IX through guidance letters, which you basically had to follow, but they didn't have the force and effect of actual regulation changes in regulations. The last administration, however, changed the federal Title IX regulations. So I'm anticipating changes. However, they won't be with the issuance of a new guidance letter or a stroke of a pen. They'll have to go through the federal process of overhauling the regulations, or if there's any changes statutorily.
Thank you, Senator Rizzo. Any other questions on the topic? Thank you, Ron. So we can look for this in the action item for our next meeting. Again, all of the red line and changes were provided in the read ahead well in advance. So now we'll move on to our action items for this evening. And again, I'll note again that all of these items have been provided to the council members well in advance of tonight's meeting for pre-reading. So I will just run through the logistics of the motions, but for one. And if we have any questions, please just stop me. We'll have whatever discussion or conversation necessary for each. So the first item is the application to operate a proprietary school from ACE Home Health Aid Training School. Again, the council members received the package in advance. I'll look for a motion that the Council on Post-Secondary Education approve the application for a certificate of approval for ACE Home Care Aid Training School to operate as a proprietary school in Rhode Island. Motion made by Mello, seconded by Green. Any discussion on the motion, on the topic? Hearing none, I'll call a roll call vote. The chair, I vote yes. Chair Cottom.
Yes.
Ms. Green.
Yes.
Senator Rizzo.
Yes.
Mr. Mello.
Yes.
Ms. Monty.
Yes.
Thank you all. Unanimously approved. Thank you. Next item is approval of a change in proprietary school ownership and name. New Horizons Computer Learning Center to the United Training Academy. The Commissioner's Office has received the package, reviewed the package, and is recommending approval. That package has been disseminated again in a timely fashion to all council members. May I have a motion that the Council on Post-Secondary Education approve a change in proprietary school ownership and name from New Horizons Computer Learning Center to United Training Academy? Motion made by.
So moved.
Ms. Monty, seconded by Ms. Green. Any discussion on the topic? Hearing none, I'll do a roll call. I vote yes. Chair Cottom.
Yes.
Ms. Green.
Yes.
Senator Rizzo.
Yes.
Mr. Mello.
Yes.
Ms. Monty.
Yes.
Unanimously approved. Thank you all. Next up is approval of a position for reclassification at the community college, Assistant Director of Finance, CCRI Foundation, to Director of Finance and Operations, Institutional Advancement, and CCRI Foundation. Again, the package was received well in advance and reviewed by the Systems Personnel Review Committee and the Commissioner, who are all recommending approval. We have a motion on the matter. The Council on Post-Secondary Education approves the recommendation of the System Personnel Review Committee regarding the reclassification of the position of Assistant Director of Institutional Advancement to Director of Finance, Operations, and Institutional Advancement at CCRI. Motion made by
Mello.
Mr. Mello, seconded by
Monty.
Ms. Monty. Discussion on the topic. All right, I'll move to a roll call vote. I vote yes. Chair Cottom.
Yes.
Ms. Green.
Yes.
Senator Rizzo.
Yes.
Mr. Mello.
Yes.
Ms. Monty.
Yes.
Stands unanimously approved. Thank you. On to the next topic. This one will require some discussion. President Sanchez, if anybody from your office that you need to call into the meeting, please feel free to do so. Make sure we get them in. This item is item D, approval of a proposed FY 2021 voluntary retirement incentive program at Rhode Island College. May I have a motion that the commissioner's office has received the package and again has been disseminated early. I'll take a motion that the Council on Post-Secondary Education approve the proposed 2021 voluntary retirement incentive program at Rhode Island College. Motion made by
Izzo.
Mr. Izzo, seconded by
Green.
Ms. Green. Thank you. Motion made and seconded. Over for discussion, President Sanchez.
Yes, I'm going to have our Vice President for Administration Finance, Steve Netter, who's on now. He's been working really for the last couple years, modeling out different types of volunteer retirement plans, and we believe this one is very good. I want to certainly thank you, Chairman Del Judas, as well as Commissioner Gilkey, Anne-Marie Coleman, and Ron Cavallaro for meeting with us a couple of weeks ago just to kind of walk through the details, and appreciate your support on this. But Steve can walk through the eligibility and other variables with this particular plan. Steve?
Great. Thank you, Mr. President. Steve, before you start, can I just ask Anne-Marie and Ron to come on the screen also, please, just for your presence? There we go. Over to you, Steve. Thank you.
Great. Thank you. Good evening, everybody. As outlined in the memo, the college is pursuing an early retirement plan. Historically, the last one we did was in 2017 in conjunction with a plan that CCRI had done at the same time. We have tried for the last couple of years to get some funding around doing an early retirement plan again. Over the last couple of years, we just have not had the funds available to do that. The plan is pretty straightforward in terms of its offerings and eligibility, consistent with what we have developed over the last several early retirement plans the council has approved, in terms of age of 62 and older, service of 20 plus years at the college. And we did make it eligible for grant funded positions, which we don't actually think there are any who fall into that category, as well as the active participants of the ERS RI plan. The program benefits would provide a payout of 50% of their salary for qualified employees, and then they would subsequently be entitled to any post-retirement benefits that they have. We have worked through the recommendation of Ron Cavallaro with legal counsel to ensure that we are following any statutory requirements and not running afoul of any state ERISA rules. Any specific questions on the plan or the memo itself? Okay. Oh, looks like
I have a question, Mr. Chairman.
Go ahead, Mr. Mello.
I'm just wondering, what's the ramification for any other school that may or may not be offering this program? I don't want to go down a path like we found ourselves before, where one is doing something without the others knowing, and does it have some sort of ramifications that is not clear to me, at least, and maybe Anne-Marie can comment on that, or Ron, or whoever. I don't know who the right person is. It wouldn't be Steve necessarily.
I would just say, I know in my experience, this is not historically been all for one for all. We have done one when CCRI hasn't, like we are tonight. CCRI has done a couple consecutive where nobody else went forward at the same time. It was just for us, it was the right time, but I'll defer to Anne-Marie or Ron on any other concerns that your question raises.
Mike, it's always been a prerogative of the school to offer it with the permission of the council. And it's based upon, back when you or I was the first schools that started doing this, it's going to be based upon that school's financial situation, whether they can pay for the upfront voluntary payments, and the composition of their workforce. You know, one school may have a situation where reducing certain aspects of the workforce will allow them to to expand and to basically hire people at a lower income coming in. Another school may not have that situation. So it's always been up to the individual institutions to determine if it's in their best financial or employee-employer relations interests to do it. We've always left it to the institutions. We've never done it across the board that, that the council said all three or all two will do it. It's always been in response to a request from the school.
Can I just add one thing? Just from the historical perspective, we actually did have, in the past, we have had system-wide retirement incentives that were approved by the Board of Governors prior to the institution of the council. But in recent years, we have left it up to the school's discretion because they all have changing circumstance and they have different employee demographics. So at Ccri had consecutive retirement incentives. Rhode Island College opted not to participate. And now Rhode Island College is offering it this year and Ccri has opted not to.
Can I ask one question, Tim? You said that you've been trying to find funding around this for the past couple of years, but haven't been able to do so. So what has changed now?
Yeah, go ahead, Steve.
You want, okay. A lot of it has to do with the austerity measures and very difficult decisions that the college has made over the last, I would say, 12 to 18 months. In addition, some of the stimulus funding has allowed us to offset general education expenses that would free up general ed money, allowing us to do this. Like I said, the timing was right.
Great, thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Green. Other questions for Rhode Island College? Back to you, Mr. Mello.
Just a follow-up question on Rochelle's point. So you must have done some modeling then. You know how many people you have that are eligible for this. How many people do you expect would participate and what's the cost of that and how do you cover it? I don't know that that's covered in the memo here.
There's about 100 eligible employees across the faculty union, our PSA union, and the Board of Governors employees, so the non-classified staff. Right now, we're estimating maybe about a third, around 33 individuals. So the first year payout less is going to be, sorry, just looking at my notes here. We're looking at it's a little over $2 million for the payout at that level. And we wouldn't realize any savings until the following fiscal year.
And you said that the payout was made over 2 years. Did I hear you say that right?
No, well, usually you pay for it and you realize the savings in the following fiscal year. The accounting rules require us to recognize the expense now, regardless of when the cash goes out the door. So FY22 is when we'll see the savings from either the change in salary, vacant positions, or what have you.
Mm-hmm. And what would happen if because people get really excited about retiring, let's say, and the model changed to 75% and not the 33% that you're modeling there? Is that a problem for you financially to cover that, or no?
It would get a little challenging to do that. That's why we reserve our right to limit how many people take it all at once.
And how do you do that? I mean, what's the practicality of that? Not to get down a rabbit's hole, but if you had, of the 100, 75 wanted to retire, how do you pick the 33 that you have budgeted?
Some of that is conversations. That's, if we had the entire English department, for example, that decided to take advantage of the early retirement incentive, there is no way we could manage that. So it's, and the last time we did this, we did have to defer some people, so it didn't impact the departments.
Okay, so you've dealt with that before, that sort of scenario. Yes. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Mr. Mello. Other questions for Rhode Island College? All right. Thank you,
everyone.
All right, there's a motion already been made and seconded, so I will go to the roll call vote. I vote yes. Chair Cottom.
Yes.
Ms. Green.
Yes.
Senator Rizzo.
Yes.
Mr. Mello.
Yes.
Ms. Monty.
Yes.
Wonderful. Thank you. Stands unanimously passed. Congratulations, Mr. President Sanchez and Steve. Thanks for the work into that.
Thank you.
And that concludes our tour for this evening. Our next council meeting looks like it is April 21st. So mark your calendars if it's not already there. Thanks for your participation. I'll take a motion to adjourn. Made by Mello, seconded by Green. All those in favor? Aye. We stand adjourned. Thank you.
Thank you.